Shiloh was going crazy too. So all Deion's kids were
everybody in tackles.
They were outstanding. The whole team was outstanding.
Tastemakers.
Class. We do more than make a living, we make a life. When everything is dark, we are the light. We are the tastemakers. Aight. Let tomorrow tell the stories that we make tonight. We do more than make a living, we make.
Anyways, so Deion Sanders, okay, prime, my man that got 8 toes.
Coach Prime.
Stop making fun of his toes. He says that gives him pain sometimes.
You know, you're right. So he debuted last weekend, as the head coach of Colorado University, and nobody really gave him a chance to win. A lot of people were talking down to him, were talking bad about his team. They said, hey, you have a whole new team, like literally like 80 new players on your team. TCU went to the national championship last year. There's no way that you were going to win. But like black people always do, we defy all the odds, okay? And Deion, let me finish. So Deion was out here, and not only did Deion win the game, but his son was going crazy. His son broke the Colorado University quarterback passing yards record in that game, okay? That's the first highlight.
Did you do that?
Yeah. Second thing, the boy who came with him, Travis Hunter, was playing defense and offense. It was dominating on both sides of the ball. It was crazy. Travis Hunter was going insane. He had over 100 yards receiving, had an interception on the defensive side. So it was insane what he was doing.
Shout out to Linton in the chat.
Shiloh was going crazy too. So all Deion's kids were
everybody in tackles.
They were outstanding. The whole team was outstanding, and they ended up beating TCU. And it was an amazing game. But my favorite part was when Deion was in the press conference afterwards. You feel me? And Deion was talking that talk. And he was being black, y'all. He was being ratchet. All right?
He was being what?
What was he being? He was being very ratchet.
Should we stand up against this?
So what I'm saying is that with this, the sports world now, all eyes are on Colorado. In college football, all eyes are on Deion Primetime Sanders and his team and what he is going to do now for the rest of the season. So much so that Colorado only won 1 game last year. Okay, they came back this year and they've already won their first game against a ranked opponent. And I found it interesting that they weren't nowhere near the top 25 in the beginning of the season. And now they're ranked number 22. I feel like that's a stretch, but we're going to talk about it along with some other Deion stuff. How y'all feeling about Deion right now?
I like Deion's energy. I'm always here for.
No, you're not. You're lying.
Deion's energy. I'm not about football, and no one will teach me except for my brother. Mellison, my brother said he's going to teach me about football. I just like his energy. I like the type of time Deion is always on. That's my kind of talk. And I know that's problematic as a Christian, or it's deemed problematic as a Christian, because I believe in running my resume. I believe in talking my talk. I believe in putting my weight. I putting my price on the table like bank, like the big joker. So whenever Deion starts talking that talk, I'm here for it. I think he earned the right to talk that talk.
He did.
I agree with Litney. He backs up what he says. You know what I mean? Backs up exactly what he said. They really proved the point. I mean, Shador had never thrown for 500 plus yards.
Yeah, it was crazy.
In a college game until he's competing against a PWI. When he was with HBCUs, he won't play against. So it really shows that the competition might not be the big separation that we thought it was.
That definitely was my eyes. Yeah.
And so I'm just saying, scouts. I mean, I know scouts have been scouting HBCUs for years, but really, you should be out there scouting more HBCUs for real.
Bree, what you think? What's up with Prime?
You know, I was really happy to see him with a big win on the road as his first game. Just because of, all the talk surrounding his success with the HBCU and them saying that, he could win in that conference, but it would be completely different if he was, going up against, Power Five schools. Well, clearly he's successful in that as well. I think, he's going to be the next biggest thing in college football, and rightfully so. I love seeing Travis Hunter on the squad with him, just because he played on both sides of the ball. He can coach him to get to that next level. I'm just really excited about this team and everything that Colorado is going to do. So
they got a good team.
I'm really excited.
They got a great team for sure. Well, it looks like, so far. I think we may be getting a little ahead of ourselves. I'm not going to hold y'all. Listen, I want Deion to win just as much as the next black man. You feel me? But, like, you know how we do, y'all. Like, we get real excited about something, and then, like, it don't pan out sometimes the way that we want it to pan out. And although Deion has won everywhere he has been, okay, his track record definitely, precedes itself. Again, we have to understand he still got to play USC. He still got to play Oregon. He still got to play these big D1 schools. And I don't know. Like, look, I want him to do good. I want him to win. I want him to be, talk that talk. But I don't know if he'll be able to continue it. Because if we're honest, let's really dissect this TCU football team. I don't know if y'all watch college football the way that I do, but I do. Okay. Now, they went to the national championship last year. Respectively.
Yeah, they lost.
But guess what? That team that played Deion didn't go to the national championship last year.
Some of the players are still there. Some of them are.
Four.
Most of them. Most of them have gone on to the NFL. That's very true.
So,
yes.
I get why people bring in that stat about they beat the team that went to the national championship last year. Nah, not really. That was a completely different team. Now, on the other side of the ball, Deion got a completely different team too. To Quote's point, which I want to talk about a little bit in this segment, is that our HBCU is really that far behind from what they tell us that we are, right?
It's obvious they're not.
Is it just resources? Is it notoriety? Because look, Travis Hunter was a 5-star number one player in the Rival 300 that year. He was coming out and wanted to go play for Deion at Jackson State. He didn't get that much press while he was at Jackson State. Why? Why you think?
Because it's an HBCU.
But not because ESPN was airing the games, the Jackson State games and the Celebration Bowl.
Yes, and they still ain't trying to give us no shine while playing for an HBCU. It's all systematic nonsense. That's my joint. Plain and simple, because they proved from a skill position standpoint, there is technically no different. You feel what I'm saying? They proved that from a skills position. The only thing a PWI got
one game.
Only we'll see. We'll see when Nebraska roll up this weekend. We'll see what's popping. You know what I mean? I've already look. Me and my pops looking for tickets right now. I think I'm gonna go catch that Stanford junk in the Stanford game in Boulder. Yeah. I was trying to catch it to where it was I was trying to catch a home game on the Broncos and the joint. Hit one joint on Saturday, the next joint on Sunday. But outside of this weekend right here, they don't have joint home games for the rest of the season.
Gotcha.
Anyway, all that to be said, we're going to go ahead and check that out. Probably Stanford joint. I think it's in October.
Okay.
And definitely see that. But anyway, all that to be said, the only difference between the PWI and the HBCU, for real, from a talent standpoint, is the big boys. The offensive line.
You're talking about all HBCUs or like certain ones?
I'm going to say you can find, from a skill position standpoint, I believe, from a skill position standpoint, I believe HBCUs can hang with the other joints. For real. I
don't know.
Cornerbacks, wide receivers, skill position, running backs. That's my belief. That's my belief.
I have to see it.
Yeah. That's my belief. It's the meat. It's the pause. It's the big dudes. It's the offensive line and the defensive line. That's where the difference is made between the PWI and the HBCUs. And with the strategy that Colorado employs, not only did they get some beef anyway, and they did a decent job, but they so quick. It's so 1, 2, 3 step. It's so Tom Brady. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's so boom, boom, boom that the beef, I'm not going to say the beef don't matter. I'm just saying they getting it out so quick. They getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers. quickly.
Now, Key, I wanted to specifically ask you this question when I was watching the press conferences. Did you see the press conferences?
I didn't get to see.
Ooh, you gotta watch them, Key.
They black,
you
black,
gotta
black,
watch
black,
him.
black. It's so
When I
black, black,
tell
black,
you-
black, black.
When I tell you he's the blackest,
he's the blackest ever. He's the blackest
he's the
football player
blackest
ever.
coach I've
Yes.
ever seen in my life. And I was having a conversation with somebody at work, and they were like, "Yo, you could put Deion anywhere, and like you could put Deion like because so my team is Ohio State." And they was like, if Deion wins at Colorado, like the big schools are going to come knocking. I said, I don't know. He might be too black for these big schools because he's not Nick Saban. He's not Ryan Day. He's not, as far as etiquette and culture and the way that you talk in press conferences. Deion says exactly what he wants.
Absolutely. Every
There
single
is
time.
no holding him back.
Every
He
single time.
called out this reporter and said, nope, I read your little article you said about me. And you said, and the reporter acted like me. I didn't say, what are you talking about, Deion? He said, do you believe? Do you believe that? And he was like,
you don't
nope,
believe.
you
Next
don't
question.
believe.
Yikes! I love that though. I love his confidence. I love that he shows up unapologetically black in all the spaces. Right?
Yeah.
I think he's Christian.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He is.
Christian.
He is
talking
unapologetically
about.
black and Christian. I low
He
key
is.
think he should honestly. This is just my personal opinion. I know he's a football player. I know he's doing well in these football things. I think he should retire from playing football and set up like organizational management trainings, and then go to churches all over this country and train their staff and train their pastors. Like his organizational development skills are bar none for a dude that's
It's
a
very,
football
very,
player.
it's a very true
It's
statement. Yes.
tight. It's tighter than a mouse's ear. Deion, Mr. Sanders, Pastor Sanders. I personally think you should retire from football. I know you're doing an amazing job, and I know you're literally changing the game. I personally, though, see a need for you in churches across this country, primarily churches of the diaspora. If you could put together an organizational development course, maybe like 6 weeks, package it really nicely. I can help you run the website. Just put it together really, really quickly, and then help these churches all over the country so that they can run their businesses and their operations like both an organization and an organism. I personally think you'd make way more money than a football coach. That's just my personal spiel. Thanks. Bye.
Now, look, Deion's not going to go undefeated. I don't think I'm pretty sure he's not going undefeated.
I don't think
think
anybody's
so.
thinking that they're gonna. If they can get 5 or 6 games, he's done.
Right.
turned
So
the program
listen.
around.
So fill me real quick. How many games are they going to let him lose, you think? As far as, and still be Deion? Like how many games is the media going to let him lose and still be Deion? I give him 3 or 4.
Nah, he all he got to do is win 6 games this year.
You think
Win
so?
6 games this year. I believe that. Yeah.
And he can still
And they
talk
turn
the way he
around.
talks
Yeah.
if he wins
And
6?
I believe so because I believe the next year I believe they'll win 8 or 9.
Oh, because the recruit's going to happen next year and like
Oh my
everybody's going to come to
gosh,
school?
it's gonna be crazy.
Mm.
Yeah,
That's
it's
interesting.
gonna be crazy.
What's your thoughts, Bree?
I'm trying to remember how many games did he lose at Jackson State? It was like 6 or 7.
It was undefeated,
Nah,
I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think
One
they
season.
lost. Yeah, one season undefeated. But I want to say they maybe lost 1 or 2. They didn't lose a lot of games.
They lost in
Yeah.
the
They lost in the championship
game. Yeah,
twice,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah. That's interesting, yo. I'm not sure how Deion's gonna fare at Colorado as far as, I mean, because it feels like they are accepting what he's doing now, right? As far as his approach and his
Right,
style
Charles.
of coaching and the way that he talks to the players and the way that he approaches media, and nobody's checking him because so far he's winning. You know what I mean?
What's his
What?
theme music? Yo, like this how black he is, Key. He be like, yo, play my theme music. And everybody know it worked they did it at the HBCU and they do it at the PWI.
That's a fact.
And you know what the theme music is?
What is it?
Key. Is that what is it? What is it called? What's it's the my niggas, I die for my niggas.
I almost got beat up to that song. I don't like that song. I almost got beat up to that song. I don't like it.
Everybody almost gets beat up in that
Just-
song. Everybody gets almost beat up for sure. For sure. Have we ever
So-
seen a coach like Deion before?
I don't think we have. Not this not this bold, not this. But you didn't see a player like Deion. Ain't too many cats like Deion Sanders.
Like Deion.
Yeah, you ain't never seen nobody like Deion.
I'm saying
like,
strictly coach. Like players can have the personality. Like players, like we seen players like
even
Deion.
we have never seen a prime time Deion Sanders.
Yes, you
He
have.
was the first. Who was as big and bad
or in football?
I'm talking football.
Oh well, in football, as far as like his bravado and his like talking trash,
the bravado, the backing up the bravado, the dominating sports, playing two different sports, the home run and the touchdown in 1 week, the winning at every single level, winning at multiple teams, multiple Super Bowls. Like nobody else is this guy, in my opinion.
I feel like we have. I just gotta think about it. I'm sure there is. The chat probably think of somebody too.
And I'm not even just talking best athlete. I'm talking the marketing, like the way he marketed himself in the early 90s.
Yeah.
The marketing of it all, the way he's marketing now. He's still marketing. You know what I mean? That's all he's doing is marketing. You know what I'm saying? There's one of one, in my opinion. Deion Sanders, one of one.
Where does Deion go from here? If he maxes out at Colorado?
What maxing out? That means national championship?
Nah, I don't think I think they're far from a national championship. But
I think I hear.
As far as like winning record, multiple seasons, as Deion said, I'm here and I'm about to get comfortable.
that's what he said. We know he's gonna be at Colorado for at least 2 more years, right?
Right.
At least to get his sons, to the NFL.
Does he take an NFL job?
Organizational development.
Key, he's not doing that.
The organizational development is there for him in his 70s, though. It's in his late 60s and 70s. He could do that.
He got a lot of money to make right now.
Yeah. He already made a lot of money, but he got more money to make. You're right. So I say, I don't know, man. I can't see him sticking. I don't know.
You don't think he's gonna stay? I think he stays until Travis Hunter leaves, until his son leaves.
Oh, that's 2 years.
That's 2 years. It's like 2 years.
That's 2 years. So what? Does he go and try to now coach his son in the NFL?
True that.
Or does he go to some SEC team down south to get back home, Florida, Texas, something like that?
That's dangerous if he does that. But see, I don't think the other. So here's my thing with Deion, right? And y'all tell me what y'all think about this. I think Colorado was in such a desperate situation that Deion could have been the button-up type, yes sir, no ma'am type, or he could have been the Deion he is right now. But they just needed something different. I don't think SEC schools are that desperate to get a Deion Sanders because of everything that he comes with. Like, whether we like it or not, Deion comes with a lot. If he loses next week, the press is going to be on him. As soon as they get blown out by one school, the press is going to be on him. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, is he built to go? Not built, because he's definitely built for it.
Nobody is projecting that they're going to go undefeated.
I don't think they are.
Nobody's projecting them to win a national championship.
But Deion's talking like, yo,
That's his job. What coach don't talk like that?
All the coaches. No coaches talk like that.
No. What coach don't talk like national championship talk? Like, it's like saying what NFL player don't talk Super Bowl.
No, coaches, like the coach from Brigham Young University is not talking national championship talk. Like, you talk in your where you're at. Like,
that's true. Well, Deion Deion wasn't talking national championship talk at the HBCU. He was talking the championship of the HBCU, the celebration joint.
You're telling me Deion's talking about national championships with Colorado?
He's at a PWI now. It's the top of the joint. I think.
No, bro.
I don't know if he. I don't know if I've heard him say the word.
He hasn't.
I think I might have.
Bro.
I think on some interview.
You know how hard it is to win a national championship?
Oh, I can only imagine. I can only imagine, like Mercy Me or whatever group that was.
That's Mercy Me.
It is Mercy Me. Like, I can only imagine, yo, for real.
Listen, like I said, I want Deion to be successful just as much as the next black man, but we got to be realistic. Like, I'm not saying that last week was a fluke, but if we're if we're saying that they're in national championship talks, I think we're bugging.
I think, playoff?
We're bugging. Have you seen their schedule?
Yeah.
They play Oregon. They play USC. They play like, these are like powerhouse teams. Like,
that's what TCU was supposed to be.
Bro, we already established the fact that TCU is not the same team from last year. They only got 4 players that returned.
No, so I get what you're saying, but the turnover in college football today is just that though. With the transfer portal, which people going on to the NFL, like, so is USC who they were last year? Is Oregon who they were last year?
Yes.
They got, you know.
They are. Did you see Caleb Williams go crazy?
Yeah. So
anyway,
we'll see. I don't know. No, I don't expect them to win a national championship. I'd say he get 5 or 6 games out of. They won 1 game last year without him there.
Right.
He get 5 or 6 games. He done his job. That's just my joint.
I just don't want Deion to talk too crazy so the media can use stuff against him when he does lose, even though he's talking too crazy already.
But they gonna do that anyway,
right? Because he's they like to this country.
No, you're right.
Likes
Go
to
ahead,
humble
Keith.
black people.
Go ahead, Keith. You're right.
This country likes to humble black people. No matter what he said, he could be talking about Jesus and he could be talking about him confidently. This country just likes to humble black people.
No, you're right.
Black people and Christians and Christian athletes.
And he is a black Christian. They just waiting for the opportunity to humble that man. Period.
You're right.
The problem is you can't humble Deion. You can't humble him. He's like the Freddie Haynes of football. There's no humbling that man.
He was still prime time in Atlanta with no rings.
Yo, that's
this
funny.
was saying he was still prime time in Atlanta with no rings.
Yo, big shout out to
That's
Deion.
true.
We wishing you the best, bro. You know what I'm saying? We want to see you win out here in these streets. Keep doing what you're doing. All right.
One more point about the HBCUs.
Yeah.
So Deion took that talent, that Travis Hunter, that his sons, all that. He took that talent from Jackson State to Colorado, and they doing big things. But let's also say, in the Celebration Bowls for the last couple years, they have lost.
Yeah.
So just to go back to skill positions and talents, like I was saying before, there were other HBCUs who could keep up with the talent that he now has at a PWI.
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's what I'm saying. HBCUs is on the rise.
I'm interested to see how the PWI people react to him. Like when he walks through and he's talking, I'm interested to see how these people respond to him.
They
already responded.
I just want to see how
they already responding, Key.
They already,
crazy. A lot of cats is backtracking like a mug right now and everything. We'll see. But, you know, a lot of them hoping from the fell against Nebraska. But we'll see. Nebraska took an L last week. I mean, and they're going to be at home in Colorado? Like, I'm going to see what Nebraska going to do. But Nebraska got big boys. You know what I'm saying? They got the trenches.
They from the Big Ten. So, you know how the Big Ten do. But anyway.
We'll see how it goes.
So,
Tastemakers.
Class. We do more than make a living, we make a life. When everything is dark, we are the light. We are the tastemakers. Aight. Let tomorrow tell the stories that we make tonight. We do more than make a living, we make